Alright guys, back in another video, and this time we're going to do things a little different. I know a lot of you were excited for this deck following the detailed explanations on things, but first off, I want to give out a shout out to my new partnership. I got partnership with a company called Mag Energy, and if you guys want to check it out, check in the description and help me out if you order some stuff, if you work out or anything like that, or you just want some energy for an event, please go use the coupon code below, TFaircloth10, and I really appreciate it. It just helps me out. But first off, this deck is one of my favorite. Well, it uses one of my favorite leaders from set 1. The very first starter deck leader, Super Saiyan Son Goku, Super Saiyan God, and then he flips over into Super Saiyan Blue, the Soul Striker. That's what everybody calls him. So, first things first. This is an untap leader. When he attacks, you untap an energy, blue energy, but with the new blue-yellow cards, it does give you access to untapping blue-yellow or blue-red and blue-green, etc. When we get more and more of those cards, this leader is going to get even more buff. But the only issue with the leader is he's not a draw leader on the front side. He draws 2 and he awakens, so you want to awaken kind of quickly. And then the back side, he attacks, draws 1, and untaps 2. And if you're at 5 or more energy, he gets 5,000 power. So he does everything. He's basically on the backside. He is a draw 2 leader. Draw 2 when he awakens, and then draw 1 every turn and untap 2. So that cool ability everybody likes to have, those leaders that untap 2. He does it every turn once he's awakened. Very powerful leader when you awaken. That is one of the main issues I want to stress about this deck, because hand destruction does kind of wreck it. But we do have some new tools to deal with it. We're gonna go and get to the deck list, and I'm gonna basically just say that one Champa could be either a hidden East, Supreme Kai, whatever you want it to be. Just need to be one tech. Because there's a lot of times where you do finish your games off with just a leader swing, or you're knocking your opponent down to 2 and eventually you get there. But that's just there whenever you need it. You don't really necessarily need it. You could side it out in most games, because most people just are trying their hardest to not go to 2 so that they don't show them without a Champa anyways. But it's there just in case people do. So for the Awaken package, you see in the top left, we have Awakening Talent Pam. We have 3 of those. 3 out of cost Vegeta, even more life take and draw. And we have 3 Source of Power. Now, the reason why I went on this ratio is because once you see a Pam, you have a Pam because it goes back to your hand and you keep doing it. But you only need to do it twice, and then it becomes blue energy, which is very important for this deck. Because not a lot of these blue cards you really want to charge other than your Awakening Talent Pam extras and your dual colored energies. Now, and mainly Beerus. So, Source of Power can take 2 life. Turn 3 is one of your main plays. Turn 3, you really want to play that. And on your turn 4, you can play at all cost right behind it. But a lot of times, you're just going to be taking another life with Source of Power and swinging. At all costs is just basically a last chance. You can, when you get to 5 life, you can go for triple strike with it, potentially, but a lot of times it gets hit by a lot of the counterplay cards, but it is a very good draw if you get Gogeta 7'd, and then you go down 3 cards, and then you get a draw 2, and then he's really big and can potentially finish the game. Because the deck is really aggressive early on, and so you always have energy open to defend, so it's very important to have some way to finish the game whenever you get Gogeta 7'd. To the next card, we got one Desperate Measures. It's a new card from Draft Box 4. Basically a counterplay for 2 or less battle cards, and you get to return one of your battle cards, so mainly Freehan, because it can go out of your hand, which is pretty cool. And it has to be a blue battle card, so you can't bring back Champa, sadly, which would have been pretty neat as well. But mainly it's just for Freehan. So, cool thing about this deck is, and the bad thing about this deck is, there's a lot of 10Ks in the deck, so you got to be careful with how you're tapping your energy and when you negate and when you bean. So if you want to be being on the aggressive end, is not too bad because you have 10Ks to combo on your opponent's turn, especially Freehan. So it's not too bad, but please be wary that if you do overextend with your beans and don't use them for defense, you're not always going to be able to play the best offense on the following turns. Just keep that in mind. And you got 4-dimensional magic, even help you untap even more, but you have to be very careful when you use these negates and how you use your beans. To the next all-star of the deck, if you've seen it in the thumbnail, Goku Black, Unforeseen Darkness. If you don't know what this card does, it works so phenomenal with this deck. So you, at the end of your turn, after you play it, if there's a blue and a yellow energy, a blue-yellow energy, so it could be Beerus or Goku and Vegeta down there, or Power Potara, whatever it is. You draw 2, discard 1, and untap blue or yellow energy, which your dual color energy is what you want to do. So whenever you're on turn 2, you play him, attack with your leader, untap 1, play Awakened Talent Pan, attack, take a life, boom, attack with him, at the end of turn, draw 2, discard 1. Now, so the way that this card becomes even more powerful is because you discard your Great Ape Son Goku Saiyan Instincts. Now, this card is a free draw 2 from your drop area by paying 2 energy, so you get a free +2, but it's like not a thing you just do immediately. You basically do it on one of the turns where you feel like you just need to tap 2, attack with your leader, and tap 2 energy. And then you have all this energy open on your opponent's turn, and you drew 3 cards. And so basically it refills your hand after being aggressive. But pain goes out of your hand, which is the neat part about the 1-drop attack 15. So your hand will be massive sometimes. Next card, your 4 super combo Ma filled with energy. This could be it could be this guy's. It doesn't matter. I just think Ma's pretty cool, so I want some more foil Ma, so I got 1 stand one so far. But basic 4 or less. You could even use the sparkling one, but this isn't just the best one, to be honest. You want to take life really early, and you're not always going to have the sparkling life. Especially whenever you're using the Goku in your drop to things that he played wrong. So, okay, we got 3 Freon. I already explained him. If you don't know what he does in the deck, basically just combos on your opponent's turn or in your turn, and then boom, comes into play. But mainly on your opponent's turn. New card, Dragon Box 4. So this card gave this deck a boost, but not an exemplary boost. This is basically there against the Gogeta decks and our giant secret threats. And that's what most people say, it's a secret rare killer. Your opponent plays a Vader Strike on you, and you just, whoop, here's my out. They can't do anything about it. It can't be negated. And it's counterplay or counterattack, so if they wipe your hand and you happen to draw into it, it's pretty nice. So I try not to charge this card too much, because I do want to draw it if I'm playing this one of those matchups. But it is pretty good just to play on your opponent's turn or on your turn. But be careful, it is 4 energy. So if you don't have a D magic to restand your energy, or you don't have 5 energy, you're stuck. But it bounces anything back to the opponent's hand, and if it's your opponent's turn, draw a card. Very powerful. I already talked about Auto Cost. If you don't know what it does, take a second to read. Pretty powerful. This is your main energy source, Beerstickle God. But in this deck, it actually is a pretty decent card you can play, because drawing a card for about 15k body is not bad. It's very similar to Goku Black, so you can play it on turn 2 and or later. Frost Deadly Poison, I love this card. And my last Iridigon build, I did play 4 of it, but that's because we didn't have too many blue-yellow cards I liked for that deck. But in this deck, I'm only playing 8 dual color cards, which you could bump that up if you'd like, because I do see them whenever I when I do my opening hand. I'm basically mulligan for a dual color energy, because you really need it to see it for Goku Black. So if this is my opening hand, I will charge it if I have to, but I usually like to keep one of these in my hand for duration of most games, because it's pretty good. It's a Crusher Ball, Club Bloodlust, and draw a card. And if you're at 3 or less, which you will be in most cases when you do this, because you want to get to 3 to be able to use it if you do draw it. So it's pretty powerful. Very, very powerful against cards like Dark Banisher Fu and this kind of card. So any of these secret rare abilities that are not deflect, this card just take care of it, just similar to this, but only for a 2 energy cost in the end, because it entices 1 and turns it to rest mode. So it's pretty powerful. You got Fu to Dark Banisher. This is your main win con. Just like my Iridigon deck, I did play this in that deck. The only issue with this card in this deck, I may go back to maining 1 and or just siding this card against Janemba. I wanted a main deck out to Janemba, because this deck will swarm a lot, but it doesn't put cards in the drop area that easily. So I do probably may go back to siding this and then playing a different overroom target. Because, first of all, you gotta have 8 in drop, and your only way you're discarding is with this, and you're not comboing too much because you're just trying to put on pressure by attacking. So you'd have to get a couple super combos in drop area and play a couple Goku Blacks to be able to get this alive early on. So I may go back to siding this, but it is there mainly for Janemba, and against other matchups. When you get really late in the game, it will end the game for sure. Son Goku and Vegeta same bonds. This is another type of Bloodlust ability, sort of similar to Frost Deadly Poison, but it is a battle card that draws me a card and during a battle. So it's pretty broken. You wait until your opponent goes all in for double strike, and then You can rival blue-yellow with a bean, and then boom, negate its ability. It's pretty strong, but it's a one-off, so I don't expect to do this very often. But the deck does draw but a lot of cards with Goku Black. I don't usually charge this unless I feel like it's not very good in the matchup. Probably against Toa's not that great. Already spoke about the Great Ape and Source of Power. Very powerful card against this meta, against the Shinron decks or anything like that. Against Toa is very good too. So and basically good against everything except for the decks that can really handle the defense on the defensive end. For Champa, the Trickster. This card is super powerful against those bombs as well, and it's a card I can play on my opponent's turn. It's a 2-drop draw card on your opponent's turn. It's insane. This also outs your problem threats. Borgos. Those cards literally destroy this deck. So anything like that, you need to make sure that you deal with it. Also, TN is outed by Frost's Deadly Poison, so that is an out for us. Probably side the 3rd copy against those decks and cut out the Goku and Vegeta. So if you were looking to side this deck, I'd probably side a 3rd copy of Frost's Deadly Poison for TN mainly, and then boom, take out one of these for it. Because you do want to keep at least 8 in the deck in most cases. So I may end up siding another copy of this in and taking out one of these for the secret rare whenever you feel like you're never going to get to that many energies and or you feel like the game is not that grindy. But this card is insane. If you do get it off, when you play this card, choose up to 4 of your opponent's cards, switch to rest mode, then draw 4. Triple strike. It is going to destroy them if it hits the board. Especially with the amount of battle cards you see hit the board. You're going to hit this on the board, this on the board. Source of Power stay on the board. You can play this guy even for 2 energy. It's not too bad. So if he dies, you get to draw 2 later on. This deck is just well-rounded, and there are a few other cards you can take in this deck, but I'm not going to go too much into detail on the amount of text, other than the fact I can say you can find room, if you'd like, for all the black 1-drops that draw a card, like Kami and your side deck and stuff like that, and the 1-drop blockers and stuff like that. So you can side those in this deck, which makes it a little more versatile after siding, especially like Dende and stuff like that. But there's a lot of different texts you can put in here, so be aware of what you can do to the side to make sure that this deck can do as well as it can, because this deck's pretty skillful, but you need to make sure you mulligan correctly and see those cards awaken. Against a lot of decks will try to starve your hand because they know once you're awakened, you're pretty much the best leader. Thank you guys for watching once again, and I hope you guys enjoyed this segment of my favorite leader from set 1, other than Champa himself, if you know from the back in the day. But check out my links in the description, and please use Shinra's Lair Deck Builder. And I'll see you guys next time.